Good evening, everybody. Welcome. It's Friday. Yay. So Friday night, usually I come on and do something aimed at those of you perhaps who are beginner stampers, those of you who are just getting started in your paper crafting journey. And I will come to that, I promise. I'm thinking of doing that video slightly separately, but I'm going to do something different to start off with tonight. So if you're watching this on a replay, it's going to actually make no difference because you could be watching this on a Tuesday, even though it's a Friday. Anyway, so this video that I'm planning to do right now came about from a conversation with Martina, who I can see in the chat. Hello, Martina. Hi, Ivy. Hi, Cindy, Shaz, Lois, Heidi, Annie, Nessa. Lovely to see you all. Wendy. So we were chatting earlier and she said, please, can we see some of the stamped sheets that you were showing the other day? So last Friday, last Friday, I was at the Word for Women conference. And the night before I was making notebooks using Stamp One Sheet Wonders, and Martina was like, oh, stop, please show me what you're showing. And so some of these designs go back quite a way, but as she reminded me, some of you guys have got stamps on your shelves that go back a way, so it's actually sometimes helpful for you to see some designs that you can be inspired by and then kind of have a rustle around on your shelves and find those stamps and maybe stamp with them, or of course just find something similar and go from there. Hi Ethan. My son is online, not quite sure why. He's supposed to be camping right now. You all right, son? Had some tea? You haven't finished your chocolate bars yet, have you? Bless him. Hi, Catherine, come from California. Hi, Nessa. There we go. What's an understatement? Oh, you got stamps. Good. All right, so I have picked out a few that I want to discuss a few things with you, especially, well, I guess for those of you who haven't yet started having a go at this type of stamping, and also for those of you who perhaps have, but you want to understand kind of the structure and the patterns that I think about when creating these to make it a bit easier. So yes, right, let's have a look. I will show you them and then try and discuss them with you. So, hi Lorraine. You're all watching from our freezing tents, enjoying the entertainment. Fantastic. Ethan's mother entertains. Duke of Edinburgh Award children. Well done, everybody. You're still alive. I hope you're keeping warm. Put your socks on and your hats. Hope you took your hats. Right, let's get down and see if I can do this. There we go. Are you impressed, young people, with my techie skills? There we go. Right. Oh, Heidi Shaw, I'm so sorry to hear that. That sounds scary. Oh my goodness. Hi, Caroline. Hi, Jackie. Great to see you. Right, so I have deliberately picked out some Stamped One Sheet Wonders that look at clustering and repetition. So if you want me to tell you a bit more about each one, and I can't promise I remember some of the names of the stamp sets of each one of these, but we'll have a good go and see if you can remember some of them actually. And then also if I can find the videos in which I actually stamp these, I will try and put a link. Now this one I do believe came about as a result of a colour challenge. So I picked out 6 random colours and this is what I created. So I can see there is Blackberry Bliss and Highland Heather here. I can see either grey granite or smoky slate. Then I think this is pumpkin pie. And then a calypso coral. No, not calypso coral. Coastal cabana and night of navy. And I think I remember at the time going, oh my goodness, I'm not quite sure how this is going to work out, but it ended up looking pretty good. So I just want to go through the structure of this. So here I can see we've got clusters of the purple flowers, the big purple flowers, and I think I probably did start doing the big flowers first. Then I would have maybe done these images coming away from the clusters, then probably added some leaves, and then decided to add some of those orange flowers. That's probably the structure. Yes, Martina, he is going to want one of those, I think. So Martina's been telling me, praising the invention of a tea light heated foot warmer. Sounds amazing, doesn't it? I will let you know what it's like. Any other questions? Okay, I'm going to keep going. So if you have any questions about these images, let me know. This is number 1, so just say number 1 question and then let me know. Oh, Jan's on opening a box of goodies. So the stamp sets I use here, I think, because they're not so long ago: Art Gallery, Colour and Contour, Flowing Flowers, All Things Fabulous, and Sentimental Swirls. All right. Okay, so here's another one with clusters. This is a bit more rigid. Now this is actually a bit of a sneak peek of class 1 that I teach. So when I advertise my Zoom classes, this comes under class 1, which is called class 1 Clusters and Lines. And so this probably was a result of one of my classes. It looks very similar to that style. So all of you who've done class 1, you may recognise this. So this again is groups of flowers, and it works particularly well when you've got flowers that kind of face in a direction rather than just being what I call top-down view, which is what this one is. So this flower here is kind of like a side view, and the same with this one. So this came from the peony one. Can't remember what the name is technically, but anyway, it's the one with peonies in it. Someone will tell me. What's the name of this one? Yeah, good question, Shirley. Martina's got this one, although she may have forgotten what the name of the stamp set is. So this is from the one. I can't remember. The leaves in the background are Forever Fern, Tasteful Touches, Beautiful Friendship, and I'm not sure where the dottage came from. Prize Peony. Thank you, Martina. Bye, Ethan. Stay warm. And the colours I think were Cherry Cobbler, Granny Apple, no, Garden Green, Just Jade. Ooh, is that Pear Pizzazz, I think, and some yellow in the background. All right. Right, so again, clusters, looking at clusters and repetition. So there's a bit of a theme with these last two. We've got groups of 3 flowers. It just seems to work. So we've got group of 3, group of 3, group of 3, all along there. And then we've got some lovely swirls and leaves coming away from the groupings. And then some of the little stamps thrown in there. Thanks, Jan. So the stamp set, I remember this one. This is artistically inked because we're still using it. The swirls came from Sentimental Swirls. Little flowers in the background also. And then these ones from Artistically Inked. And this one, I think, was from a stamp set called Henna Hearts. This was using, oh no, is this Polished Pink? I think it is. Polished Pink, Blackberry Bliss, Granny Apple Green, and Is that shaded spruce or garden green? No, it might be garden green. Okay, so here we have another clustered one, but this time the difference is we've got one big flower. So one big flower being the focal point, and then lots of little flowers kind of like spraying out from that central focal point. And it really is quite a foliage extravaganza. There's some really gorgeous foliages in this one. The dots at sheet 2, they look like bubbles. Any idea where they came from? They look like bubbles. I think these were the Quiet Meadow ones. Either Quiet Meadow or Waterfront. Hello, Mother. Look at this, it's a family affair tonight. Had my son, now my mother. Mum, I'm just going through some old stamp sheets because people are inquisitive to know what I used and what I did. Okay, so I think this is Real Red, and this is from Positive Thoughts. That's the lovely chrysanthemum-y flower from Positive Thoughts. Now, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I struggled with the high contrast on that stamp set. So the way I get around it is I stamp, twist and stamp again. So for all of you who've got this stamp, that's the way to make it work. All right, that's the way to make it work. And then these little stamps are from Celebrate with Flowers. It's only just retired, that's why I remember. Then lots of lovely foliage. We've got that lovely fern from Positive Thoughts. We've got this lovely green leaf from Wildcats. This one from, is it Hello Lovely or something like that, from last year's celebration. So we're in 2022 right now. So that was celebration. Was it 2021 or was it earlier this year? Oh, it's the one with the little bird in it. Someone will tell me. Oh, and then I can see some little sun rays, and that would have come from the recently retired one that France Martin designed. Someone help me. Someone, I'm sure someone will help me. Please, someone help me. Tell me what they were. And then the little dotty yellows in the background, that was the cheetah dots from Wildcats. Okay, so can someone remind me what that was called, that lovely stamp set? I should know it. I loved it. I just can't retain all the names in my head. Sorry. Okay. No, it's not the lighthouse. It's the one with it's like After the Storm. Is that what it's called? With the clouds and the sun rays. I think it was called After the Storm. It was the one designed by France Martin. Okay, so moving on to another set of clusters. So this time we have a large flower and a small flower. So large flower, small, large, small, large, small, large, small. So it's similar setup really to kind of that, or maybe that one, I don't know. Yeah, so cluster, 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 cluster. And then lots of little bits of foliage coming out. This was actually stamped onto purple posy cardstock, hence the difference in background. And I think I stamped it in terracotta tile. This is a colour that retired a couple of years ago. We don't have that one anymore. Possibly Mango Melody, I think. Very open design. Line art as opposed to solid, gives it a very different look, more of a kind of fabric design look, you know, it's less realistic, but super fun. Oh, what colours did I use for, sorry, are you talking about this one? A lot of different greens, Shirley. Is that you asking about this one? So I think we've got Real Red, Old Olive, Shaded Spruce, Crushed Curry, possibly, I think. Oh, I've just spotted in the background Jar of Flowers. So I must have stamped in the background the flowers from Jar of Flowers because I can see them peeking through there. Hello, Margaret. Okay, so you heard the colours for that one. Oh, so now this is a different type of clustering. Rather than flowers, we have butterflies. So we've got, now I seem to remember this was a celebration item, this sort of mint macaroni colour in the back. That butterfly set was gorgeous, wasn't it? I can't remember the name of it. It was ever so beautiful. It was really, really pretty design. Quite sad when it went, really. So as I said, we've got the butterflies as the focal point, and then for some reason I decided to add these leaves and just see what would happen. So I've got a circular design here, but here we've got them going out and about, and it's just never been cut up, this piece, because I don't know why, really. I think it was just my experimental phase, just really seeing what things would look like. And look, there's a lovely script stamp. I don't even remember what that's from. It's just so pretty that I used it. So I've got thank you there, and together, and I just love the idea of the script kind of like hanging over those lovely florals. I write the date, colours and stamp sets I've used on the back of my One Sheet Wonder. You know, Jackie, that would be such a smart thing for me to have done, wouldn't it? Yes, that is a good idea. I do try and put them, I try and type it on my descriptions. You may be able to find this one. Gorgeous Posies. I don't know if that was it, what it was called. I can definitely see some beautiful friendship there. That was the lovely blossom that went with the, I think it went with the butterflies. And Forever Fern there in the background. And, oh, now what did those come from? That little flower. Oh, I've forgotten where that came from. Yeah, no such luck, look. Nada, Jackie. Nothing there. Okay, so we're branching now into a slightly different setup. We are now branching into lines, but various different types of lines. Hold on, just trying to see what's appropriate. Yeah, that one I don't think I'm going to show because that one's just not appropriate. Okay, so this is going back quite a while. And I think this was probably one of the first times that I played with lines as a concept for putting stamps together. And it uses a really pretty stamp set that I can't remember. Oh, woven something. It's coming back to me. The papers were kind of like emulating fabric, I think. Anyway, it had an awful lot of texture too. There were some long stamps, and because I think whenever I see a long stamp, I think, oh, what lines can I create with that? So that's what tends to happen. Oh, Mother's talking about food. She's going to make me hungry. What's she saying? Just been shredding some ginger for ginger chicken and pureed some for mixed fruit, rhubarb, applebay, blackberry date and ginger crumble for church lunch. Yes, we are all hungry now. Thanks, Mum. Woven heirlooms, that's what it's called. Thank you, Wendy. Good idea, Martina. Oh, so Mummy, have you met Ivy before? Ivy's from Malaysia as well. Oh, now this is an interesting one. So I'll come back to that one. Okay, so that was my first foray with lines, and I've got a feeling that this one may have been the one that came afterwards. I think I accidentally turned this one into lines. It started off with being a kind of repetitive type thing, and so I would have stamped the flowers first, Then I think I just started adding these leaves. So the rule was that whatever I added on one flower, I would add on all the others. And then before I knew it, I accidentally ended up with these lines. So that was unintentional, but sometimes that happens. So yeah, there we go. Then I think in that same video, I then played with this one. So this was definitely much more rigid and structured, you know, just 2 lines going that way and then 3 lines going that way, and just kind of, you know, connecting. And sometimes this kind of stamping can be very therapeutic, because you kind of decide what you're doing and you just repeat it. Just stamp, repeat, stamp, repeat, stamp, repeat. And there can be something quite relaxing about that repetitive stamping, where you don't have to overthink what you're doing. The pattern just kind of happens in front of your eyes, really. So have a go with that. So for those of you who want to know stamp sets, this is from that was the perennial flower one that I missed terribly. Oh, look, is that Lovely You? I don't know if that's still around, actually. Looks familiar. I'm wondering if that one's still around. I think it is, actually. So this was the days of Rococo Rose, and I teamed that with Soft Suede, Rococo Rose and Mary Mallow. Maybe even Blushing Bride there. Yeah, because if that's Rococo, that's Blushing. Yeah, so really fun stamp set. Okay, and let's have a look, another one with lines on it. So this is one that I would have made in a class. So this is the lines one, and so I can tell I did this in a class because I've got different stamp sets that I've used, and because sometimes in class I try and, you know, show how the same design can work with different flowers and leaves. And I particularly enjoy this class because I try and show people how they can use unusual stamps that you wouldn't necessarily associate with flowers. So this has got like a little top of a tree in there, but it's just like a really fun other texture. Also, I can see I've got loads of different textures in the background. I've got some blending and some stamping. So yeah, this would have definitely been made in a class. Any questions about this one? Oh, this is from the Symmetry set. That's from All Things Fabulous. What's that from? Is that from the same set as that? I think it was. That is from Beauty of Friendship, which is current. And this is using Fresh Freesia in the background. And is that Gorgeous Grape, I think? And Mint Macaron. So Soft Sea Foam in the background too. No, I wouldn't have done this in a live. No. So is it Soft Sea Foam cardstock? No, it's actually just very vanilla. Yeah. Yeah, and actually, Ivy and Mummy, you don't live that terribly far apart, you know. Funny, isn't it? I think next time I go back to my parents, Ivy, I'm going to have to come visit you. Right, so this was another stripes one, and I think this was when I borrowed this stamp set from Wendy, because Wendy had this set. Oh, excuse me, sorry, I had a yawn and a cough coming at the same time. Excuse me, let me drink a glass of water. In Symmetry and Beauty of Friendship, yes. Indeed, Shirley, yes, it's a small world. Blackberry Bliss, Fresh Freesia, Soft Succulent and Evening Evergreen. Yes, so this would be a more recent one because the colours are more recent. But again, we're looking at those lines. Now, let me just shift it that way. I probably did the foliage first with this one. So it was all about getting those lovely kind of curvy lines in there. Sorry, the curve of the leaf into a line. So you can sort of see how it's kind of worked there. Then I probably would have done the flowers and then added the oak-like leaves afterwards. All right, and then look, there's dottage of dottage here. Look, there's tiny little dottage, and I've stamped those. I think they're designed to be the centres, but I then decided to stamp them in a lighter colour and just have them sprinkled around. So yeah, I can't remember what this stamp set was called. It was in was it last year's winter mini, I think. It had a basket. It had a basket die that went with it. Martina's got it. Wendy definitely had it. So. All right, so this is an interesting one because you can probably see a couple of things, a couple of structures that I've already just showed you. We've almost got the repetitive clusters and the lines going on at the same time, but I've got a feeling I probably did these as lines and it just ended up looking like repetitive clusters. So I've got lines going 2 down that way and 2 across that way, which is actually reminiscent of the half hashtag. So I've done a video using 12 by 12 paper where I do the 2 lines, you know, 2 going that way and 2 going that way. But this was created during a class because I think one of the people who were taking part only had letter size paper or A4. So I said, oh, don't worry, don't just miss out one of the lines. So here we have then what happens when you do lines, but then you also have lines going in the opposite direction, and what happens when, you know, they meet, and you can put some interesting clusters at their meeting points. So this is probably what happened here. I stamped, you know, lines and then lines across, and then thought, oh, let's put some flowers where those intersect and have some lovely leaves. And here we've got a really lovely combination of line art mixing with a stamp that would have coloured in the line art. I can't remember what's, oh, this was a stamp set that just retired recently, wasn't it? Oh, I forgot what it's called. Oh, can't remember what it was called now. But anyway, I used it quite a bit last year. And then I just mingled in some butterflies as well. Yeah, and I think it also had those lovely dots and the dots and the stripes. Very soft colours. And this, I think, is on Sahara sand cardstock. So it's like a pale brown. But almost got a grey tone to it as well. So very pretty. Then the butterflies from Positive Thoughts. The flowers and leaves look like you hand drawn them and coloured them. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? But no, that was just the style of the stamp. Garden Grandeur. Oh, let me Google it. Garden Grandeur. Let me have a quick look. It's very similar to Garden Grandeur, but it's not it. Yeah, no, it's similar, but not it. Good substitute though. We could revisit that one. Yeah, the butterflies from Positive Thoughts, but not the florals. It was one that I thought was similar to Colour and Contour, and then this one retired in Colour and Contour still. Thank you, Jackie. Art in Bloom. Thank you, thank you. There we go. Jackie got it. All right, so, oh, now this one's going, oh, hold on. That one's going back to the clusters idea. That was using the daisy from Daisy Lane. And then in the background, I can see some Celebrate sunflowers. And oh, one of my favourite stamps, Framed for You, I think it was, that lovely little flower. I miss that flower, and I miss those leaves very much, and the rain texture. So if you've got that one, hi Linda Claire. You made me laugh with let me Google it. We make fun of my son-in-law saying, hey Google, on his phone all the time. There we go. All right, so I'm just noticing ones that I should have showed you. Okay, I'm just going to keep going. That, I think the background to this one's Daffodil Delight. I can see Misty Moonlight, Night of Navy, and Mint Macaron in that one. Okay. Right, so this one, I seem to remember I stamped it this way up. Because look, there's dingle dangles going down that way. And I remember when I stamped this, getting to about the halfway mark and going, oh no, I've made a mistake, I don't like it. And then it pulled through. And it's a very unusual colour scheme, but it just seems to work. So we've got Bermuda Bay there, Mary Mallow, Cinnamon Cider, and we've even got Cinnamon Cider stamped in the centre of All Things Fabulous, but it just works. And what's that? Crushed Curry or Bumblebee maybe in the background. It's got some Mint Macaron Very Versailles in there. I mean, there's loads. Absolutely loads. Oh, take care, Shirley. Have a great weekend. Oh, Timeless Tulips. That's in there too. So, Season's Blessings. Oh, yes. Yes, that's the name of it. Thank you, Martina. Yes, Season's Blessings is this one. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Mum. Thank you, Ivy. Yep. Okay, is there anything else I need to tell you about this one? Oh, look. Let's just have a moment for these little berries. I love that one. Right, so this was another clusters one. Lines one. Using Healing Hugs. Is that right? The rose from Healing Hugs. We used the Timeless Tulips again. The leaf from Healing Hugs was gorgeous. And also this little spray. These little berries. And I believe I combined it with a line art design. And there's actually a flower underneath there, but I wanted the leaves to show. So if you look very, very, very closely, can you see there's lines underneath there of the flower that went with this leaf? So there we go. And oh, that's a texture stamp, that burlappy texture stamp from a while back as well. Oh, my hands are cold. I meant to get my wrist warmers on. I'm just going to pull my jumper down over my hands. It's a little bit cooler in here today. So colour-wise, oh, this is a retired one, isn't it? Is that Pretty Peacock with Misty Moonlight and Seaside Spray? Wow, that is going back a while. Yeah, and then I think that's Pear Pizzazz and Highland Heather. And there's another stripy one, another line art one. Lots of Timeless Tulips in that one. And those are little leaves or sprigs from the birdhouse garden, or garden birdhouse or something. Hi, Mary. And Calypso Coral, Bermuda Bay, Soft Succulent. Yes, this would have been done in a class, so you guys wouldn't have seen this one before. But there we go. And then the very last one here, we've got a combination of the lines and sort of clustered flowers at the crossover point. So one of the most requested designs on my channel has to be the trellis. And so I created this kind of very gentle trellising using the script from Quiet Meadow, which is just sort of like line text really. So I did that going across and then turned it and then did that going down that way. Then we've got the flowers from Boughs and Blossoms, this one here. Then we've got the leaf from Art Gallery, which I probably cut. Probably did a bit of stamp surgery for that one. Then we've got Forever Fern. We've got little sprigs from the Dahlia, is it Dahlia Days? And what else is in here? Some dotage, I think, from Forever Fern. That's a very pleasing one to look at, I have to say. Very pleasing. Fun to look at. Very relaxing. Oh, Night of Navy, of course, as well. And I think that's Mossy Meadow. And that green looks a bit brighter for some reason. That might be Granny Apple Green. Okay. Right. Are there any questions that you guys have about these designs before I leave? Hi, Anne. Nice to see you. So for those of you just joining, I've just gone through these designs and talked through them and sort of my thinking behind them, perhaps how I started it, the various colours, stamp sets that I could remember. Yes, that colour combination is very pleasing to the eye, partly because I've used colours that are very close together on the colour wheel. So when you look at a colour wheel, I've used yellow, green, blue. Okay, so I've used the cool colours from the colour wheel there. Just seems to work. Thank you, Linda. There we go. Right, so thank you for joining me for this walkthrough of some of my older designs. Would you say lines are easier than wreaths? Yes, I would say that, Caroline. If you're starting out, yes. Yeah, especially something like this, where you pick a stamp and you just go, you stamp it all the way across. Then you pick another stamp and then you stamp it all the way across. And then if you want to do sort of clusters of flowers as you go along, you can do that if you want to. So, you know, create a line, then maybe stamp the odd flower. See if I can find one to show you. And then just do some leaves coming from each flower. I've just got, these have got 3 flowers, but yeah, so you create your lines, then stamp some flowers, and then just do leaves. So the reason why I would say this is probably a bit easier is because you do it you just repeat it. Only if one can do a straight line. Well, you can draw with a pencil. You are allowed to draw with a pencil. Yes. Thank you all. Great to see you. Right, I'm going to go now, but I'm going to come back, going to go and grab a drink, and I'm going to come back and do another live, just talking through a really kind of simple way of using up your DSP. I actually did film something, but I thought it might be fun just to do it live. All right. So thank you, everybody. If you have any questions about some of the techniques, or you'd like to do a class with me, please email me, ruthtrice@gmail.com. Thank you so much, all those of you who've recently subscribed as well. Hit the 11,000 mark last night during a live, which was super fun. And Reet, if you're watching, happy birthday, because it is officially her birthday today. So take care, everyone, and see you all soon. Bye.